So Kristen Lee has broken her silence after the whole Sam, Colby, Seth Borden situation at the Bellaire house, and it was enlightening. I'm sure you're all aware of the drama that's been kicking off recently regarding the security camera footage that was leaked from the Bellaire house, which contained footage of Sam, Colby and Seth Borden doing what some deem to be unsavoury things whilst in the Bellaire house, including what could be seen as sexually inappropriate comment.
Alright, how are we going to outro this? We're going to call Kirsten back here. She's going to blow all three of us, and then we're going to leave.
Yes.
Damaging property.
Trying to trick us. And even the things that he was puppeteering may just be completely fabricated. I like that story.
Come on, man.
Yo, okay. What? So, yeah, we might run into other spirits, but I have a feeling that it's more just be on the lookout, because it could be a demon thing.
We got to be careful of, one, Emily Davis, who's obviously the demon child, and then two, Lied. Because I don't know if you remember this, but Lied was supposed to be a protector and somebody that will help you through these situations, but if it is something that is puppeteering her, it could just be a giant trap for us to trust.
Oh, it is so... Dude, the Sally House all over again. No! You broke him! No! You just fucking kicked his face in, bro! No!
You stop that bear!
No! You roundhouse that bear off the table!
Imagine if it talks again.
It's like, why'd you kick me, bitch?
Also, let's not forget about the Gray Man, aka the Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man.
That was insane. He said that's even scarier than Emily Davis.
Yeah, in his opinion.
Did you just fucking hear that?
Yeah. That was like a...
Like a...
Yeah. Hello? No, that's not what I heard.
Well, it's a good time to go upstairs.
Alright, guys, so first investigation alone starts right now. Let's get upstairs. Yo, should we pick that bear up?
I'm gonna fix that bear. I just did that.
Just get the fuck out of that bear.
And the potential of Seth admitting it's all nonsense.
Confession number one, none of this shit is real. Confession number one. Confession number two came from meaningless facts. Okay. I was thinking kind of like that. Oh shit, this guy's behind the house. Yeah, I like that. Because I think their health phone is inside out. It is protection mist. It smells like pepper. Wow. So we need to change the SD.
Well, since this video dropped, the community have had a lot of questions, which were put to Kristen by the Side-Eye Guy on his YouTube channel in the video titled The Truth About Sam Colby plus Seth Must Watch Interview with Kristen Lee, owner of Bellaire House. To start with, Kristen states that she was actually contacted around a week prior to this video being recorded by the Sam and Colby team to speak with her about the footage that was leaked and what was about to be exposed by the Side-Eye Guy, and guaranteed that she would be provided with a PR speech to put out in the event of this being brought to light.
So I guess the first question I've got to ask is, when did you first hear that I was trying to get in touch with you?
I believe it was Sunday or Monday of last week when Zach Bell, Sam and Colby's producer, and my contact from booking the Bellaire House called me on the telephone and woke me up and ask me a whole bunch of questions, and it was not a good conversation. It really wasn't. He took me by surprise. When I'm taken by surprise and I'm in shock at such situations, I use a lot of profanity, and I cursed him pretty good, and I feel awful about that. But when he first told me that you were doing this, I knew the hate that was going to come through, and I thought that it was going to be all on me. And I really thought that. He accused me of a lot of things that he shouldn't have. And I think that's what really made me angry with him. That's what really made me livid. And then having to defend myself to him. That made no sense. I mean, my blood was boiling by the time that we hung up the phone. And then he had just told me it was probably just a rumor that you were doing this, and it was probably just gossip, and that he would write a PR note for me, defend me if needed to be. I haven't heard a word from them since. I knew this was coming. I knew it, and I found out by their producer.
Kristen then states that she had no idea of who Sam and Colby were prior to them visiting the Bellaire house.
As any team member or group member comes to the Bellaire house, I don't know them, and I don't pay attention to YouTube. I think that there's something that we all need to understand here. The YouTubers that are pushing out paranormal content are not associated with people in my groups, which are researchers that are researching the paranormal. So, I didn't know who Sam and Colby was. Mike McAllister called me and said, my girls are big fans of Sam and Colby. Could they meet them? And I had worked with Mike before in the field of research, and, I told him, I said, bring them down. I said, you were the first team ever here at the Bellaire house to investigate it. I said, why don't you go back on the record? Why don't you come back to the field and be a researcher? When we got there, it was completely chaotic. There's teenage girls in there. I had no idea who Sam and Colby was until Mike told me that they were YouTube people and girls like them. That's what I was told. I didn't realize that they had over 6 million followers, 7 million followers at that time. I didn't know that. And that kind of stuff it just doesn't, still today, it doesn't mean anything to me.
The follow-up statement by Kristen was actually quite shocking to hear, and that was that when all this happened almost 2 years ago, Kristen was told by a, quote, celebrity friend to take the story and footage to TMZ to leak the story, which in the end she did not end up doing.
I guess it was just the right timing. I really do. I guess it was the right timing for this story to be told because of two things. I did take this to TMZ. I did years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything to me. They didn't even bat an eye at me. They said nothing to me. And this was a while ago when this first happened. I had a very famous friend, a celebrity friend that I showed and disclosed, and I trust to my deathbed. I will trust them. They had said to me, you need to give this to TMZ, and I'm going to help you do that. And nothing became of it. Nothing. Not an email, not a phone call, no nothing. And then when I find out that this is coming out, I'm like, well, that took a while.
We then get into the content shown within the security footage, and Kristen is asked if Seth was right in saying that everything was, quote, water under the bridge, like he stated in his statement that he put out on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. To which Kristen states, no.
We'll start off with Seth. Because Seth has said in his most recent, in a Twitter post, that it was all water under the bridge. Is it water under the bridge?
No, it is not. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm a professional person. When the cops came and scared the crap out of them, which I just ate up, and I'm going to be brutally honest about that. I thought that was the best thing that could ever happen to teach 3 little boys a lesson. Okay. Secondly, as a professional person, you always say water under the bridge, good game. Like when you're playing baseball or basketball, all the kids line up, good game, good game, good game. You know what I'm saying? That is the most professional thing to do that we are taught to do in really, really bad situations. Just moving forward, water under the bridge. So was it really water under the bridge? Let's talk about this first. The police side-eye guy, they did not make the Sam or Colby pay for the bear. They didn't. Their producer offered to pay for it. Sam and Colby didn't pay me. Their producer offered the money. And that's first and foremost. But what really made it not water under the bridge?
What makes this even crazier is that Kristen states that Seth is not ever allowed back into the Bellaire house and is not invited by anyone in the Bellaire area in any of the haunted locations because they're a tight-knit community.
Really made it not water under the bridge because there is something that happened after this. And I want to touch on this real quick too. The guy named Borden stated that he said that I invited them back. Well, I would gladly at that time, before I knew what I'm about to tell you, would have invited Sam and Colby, but never the Borden boy. Never, ever. He is never allowed in my house. As a matter of the fact, he's not allowed in any location in Bellaire that I know of. Because we're very, very tight people in Bellaire. Like, we do not, you screw one of us over, you screw the whole village over. So, I mean, you just stay on Route 7 if you're going to the pen, bro, because you're eventually going to end up at the pen, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't remember where I saw it, but it was a post from Seth. But I will tell you one thing, I will never forget the way that it made me feel ever in my life. It had stated that he was announcing himself as one of the producers of the Sam and Colby team after they left the Bellaire house. This was maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 at the most after they left the Bellaire house. So that told me that Sam and Colby and the Kurt Bell producer condoned Seth's behavior.
Kristen then goes on to state that what was caught on the CCTV was not all that happened that night, and in her words, if I told you what happened, you wouldn't believe it. You'd have to see it to believe it.
There's so much more that happened that you would just have to see it to believe it, because if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't.
Well, funny you should say that. I mean, I don't feel that we should get too in. I mean, of course, you can speak your mind however you wish, but my source told me that there was more was happened and said that unfortunately over the last 2 years has been lost over time that was actually on the CCTV footage, and some of it was pretty damning to also to Sam and Colby, but because I didn't bring any of it up in my video because I don't have the video to back it up as evidence.
What is CCTV? I don't understand what that is.
Security. That might be a British term, but it's like security.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but they weren't security cameras. They were live broadcasting cameras. I think that's where. And they knew that they were there. I mean, the whole world knew that they were there because we broadcasted 24/7, where people could go on to a forum and watch, like old school paranormal. You can go and watch an empty room. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, everybody knew. Yeah, everybody knew that. Like anybody in the paranormal knew that's what the Bellaire house did. We were still running like that. We still ran old school.
Later in the video, Kristen says that Seth was a very different person when he visited before with Exploring with Josh, and that the only way that he could get out of this controversy is to say, quote, I got an attachment from the house.
Sam and Colby blocked out Seth. I really did. Like they knew that he was a vile person. They knew it. And they just didn't, he's not positive. Now, let me tell you something. When Seth came to the Bellaire house with Josh, like Josh Explores, he was a perfect gentleman. Absolutely perfect gentleman. But his teacher was with him too. So, I mean, like his mentor was with him. So he was on his best behavior, and he had brought his girlfriend, sweet girl, just a sweet girl, like the prettiest, sweetest girl, like just a nice little girl. But And I even told him that at the table. I said, what if I called your girlfriend and told your girlfriend what you just said to me? I said, how would she like that, Seth? Really, what would she say? And I don't know what's wrong with that kid. I really don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, he did not look like he was well. And I'm going to tell you something, and you all can run with this if you want to. If I was Seth Borden, truthfully, I would say that I gained an attachment from the Bellaire house and I was possessed. That's the only way he's getting out of this. Because cameras don't lie, bro. Cameras do not lie.
The next question that was posed to Kristen was the bear incident and what people have been saying about it. With regards to people saying that because Colby apologised and the bear was paid for, it should just be written off. And this is what she had to say.
Kristen, one of the comments that keeps getting brought up over and over and over again is it doesn't really matter that Colby kicked your expensive bear because he repaid you and he apologized. Have you got any comments on that?
If one of my kids went into somebody's home and did that, they'd be in a lot of trouble if I was their parent. But you know, Sam and Colby's fans, they won't see it that way. I'm a parent. They're not parents, so they're not going to see that. Later in life, they'll see it. They'll understand later in life if they remember. But I watched him kick it. I did, and he didn't. I mean, everybody, they had it in their video. They laughed about it. He kicked it hard, and that kid works out. You know what I mean? It wasn't just a, little kick. It was just a straight up drop kick. Boo Bear. It's just not cool.
She was then asked if he only apologised because he was caught, to which Kristen replied.
That's a tough one, because had I never contacted their producer to let the producer know their behavior, they would have never been accountable at all.
Yeah.
So they did not realize that what all of them did was wrong. It's like I had to tattletale on them. It's like I went to their producer. I went to their, I went to Kurt Bell and said, this is what happened and I'm livid and you need to get those boys down there immediately because we need to have a discussion before they go to their next location that I helped them get.
Which is the Ross house.
Yes.
Right.
I was so mad. I mean, I was so mad at them. I was chain smoking, double fisted. I was so mad at those kids. Oh my gosh. And I did it to make them uncomfortable. That was awful. There was just, all of it was awful.
Kristen then wraps up the video by stating that she hasn't had anything from the Sam and Colby team, and also gives out some advice to victims of sexual abuse, and also delivering a hotline number for sexual abuse victims.
So before we wrap this up, Kristen, is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest about this whole experience, whether it be the night that they were at the Bellaire house, or maybe since I uploaded my video and the whole aftermath of that?
Well, I haven't heard anything from the Sam and Colby team. I haven't heard a peep out of them. I'm sure that they're putting together some type of a video to talk about this. That's standard in the industry. And
at the time of recording, it's been about 5 days, I believe, since I uploaded that video. So in those 5 days, you said earlier that the Sam and Colby team were going to make a statement for you, and that you haven't heard anything from them.
No.
Right.
No, and if they're going to make a statement for me, it's too late. They're too slow. I work in real time, and I'm sorry I wasn't with you earlier. I had COVID. I just couldn't. So when all of this was going on, this was like COVID time for me. So, but the other thing is too, that I want to say this is very, very important. Women need to start standing up for themselves. Stop standing there and smiling and taking abuse from other people. Men need to do it too. And I'm not a sexist. I've raised 2 boys and I would tell them the same thing. If somebody is being inappropriate with you verbally, you need to stand up for yourself and you need to speak loud. Oh, gosh, this really tears me apart. This one does, because there's a lot of people on TikTok that are victims of sexual abuse, and it is triggering them to see that the people that they looked up to, the people that got them through the day, condoning this type of behavior.
So, that is everything that we got from this interview with Kristen Lee on the Side Eye Guys YouTube channel. What do you guys make of it? A lot of information to dissect there, a lot of things that I think we kind of already knew, but very interesting to say the least. Do you feel like there were any questions that were missed out with regards to this situation, or do you feel satisfied that everything was answered? I think now that this is going to be a line in the sand. I don't think there's going to be any more covered on this. So therefore, we're not going to be covering anything more on this. But please remember, this is not me on a hate wagon for Sam and Colby. I'm not out to try and get them cancelled. I'm just posting it as I see it. Don't shoot the messenger. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below as to what you thought of all of this. What a palaver. Anyway, guys, if you have gone on to enjoy, you know what to do. Get down there, jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, and tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload. And until next time, guys, I think this is the end of the Sam and Colby drama, and I'll speak to you later.